Hi there, I'm Casey. I am going to show you today how to properly pack a percolation cone for percolating your tinctures. I have my percolation cone that I made out of a water bottle, and I have my moistened burdock root powder, and I'm going to show you the consistency of this. The reason that you moisten the herb is because when you put it in your cone, if it is not moistened and it doesn't have some of the menstruum absorbed already, it could possibly pack too tightly inside your cone, and then your menstruum would not filter through. So it's important to moisten your herb before you start packing your cylinder. You want it not saturated completely, but you do want it enough to sort of stick together when you pinch it. So I am going to show you now how to make a little cone. I have cut out little circles from filter paper. I just bought coffee filter paper, and it's about the same diameter as my cone. I cut out a little circle, and then I folded it in half, and then in half again. And this should fit perfectly down inside your cone. So the easiest way to do this first is to open up your cone and put a small amount of your herb inside. And press it in gently, not too much. You don't want to pack it too firm, because you want to do that with your tamping rod. So you just get a little bit of the herb inside so it holds its shape, and then you carefully slide this down inside of your cylinder. Now you want to make sure that the edges are sealed nice and tight. What I usually do at this point is, you might need to use a chopstick or something to sort of get it centered, but I like to moisten it just a little bit so that I know that my cone is going to stick to the side there. Not too much, just enough to sort of get it to stick in there. Okay. Now what you want to do is you want to think of this bottle as in thirds, and your herb also, and you want to add a third of your herb each time before you pack. So you're going to pack it 3 times. Okay, that's about a third. So what I'll do now is I'll take my tamping rod, and I always try and get it really, really even on the bottom, because that will help. I have my tamping rod. This is just a wooden dowel that I cut and sanded down. And I always try to make sure that it's even. You know, it's not higher on one side or in the middle, it's not lower. And I start and I go in a circular motion. And then I touch the middle, and I go around it one more time, applying the same pressure each time. The first time that you put herb in on your first layer is the lightest packing that you do. So I don't know if you can see it, but it's pretty. It's in there, but it's not very tight. So now I'm going to go to my second third. I'm going to set this down for a second. My second third, and I'm going to pack this one in a little bit more firmly than I did the first layer. Sorry, I know this is kind of tedious, a little boring. second layer. And I will do this one, like I said before, I will do this one a little bit more firmly than I did the first layer, but I will start again and push around the outside, sort of trying not to overlap where I already did it, and then one in the middle, and I go around the outside again, one more time, and then one in the middle. This method so far has worked for me every time. Knock on wood, this is probably going to be the one percolation that runs off, but that's alright. I'm sort of doing this a little bit fast. Okay, and then this is my last portion of herb. So I'm just going to go ahead and pour this in my bottle. A little bit more. Okay, get that even, and this time I'm going to push it down even firmer than I did the first 2 layers. And that is it. So if you've done that right, you should get a really nice perk. And what we want is when we add the menstruum, that menstruum needs to dissipate through the herb at a level pace. So meaning that the line all the right way around this bottle that you'll see as the menstruum runs through will be even. We don't want it to run down one side or in the middle or get off, because then that means that it's not a proper percolation and you might as well as macerate your herb. But if the packing is done right and it runs correctly, you'll have a great percolation. So then, once you get that, you take your filter paper. You should have 2 of these. Another filter paper, and you put that one on top. And you will lie something inside of this on the top. Like I use a little piece of glass tubing, and you'll set this on top of the filter paper, and then when you pour your menstruum on top, you'll aim for that piece of glass or whatever you choose to put in the bottom, and it will disperse it so that it doesn't hit any of your herb too hard and break up some of that packing job that you have done. That will cause it to run inefficiently. So there you have it. Then once your menstruum is added, you leave it sit. Well, you wait for it to run through, and as it starts to drip, you clamp it off and you stop it. And then you let this sit for 4 to 48 hours, and then you open it, and rule of thumb is that you want 1 drip per 3 seconds. So for every 3 seconds, you should see 1 drip coming out. And you let that run through, and you'll have your percolation. Really good for 1-to-1s, 1-to-2, 1-to-3s, and also if you're in a rush, like I said, you can have something done in as little as 4 hours. So of course, the longer that you let it macerate, probably the better you're going to pull all of those constituents you're after out. The proper powder size to do this is probably around 20, number 20, which is like if you have a sifter, it's the number of meshes per, I think, inch. So 20 is good. 30, 40 is fine. This one's probably a little more than that. So these have a tendency to be a little bit slower in perking out, but they work. What else can I tell you? I think that's it. So don't get frustrated if it doesn't work the first time. Try again. Good note taking is essential. Percolations are difficult. They take some practice. Some good herbs to start with would be something like peppermint or fennel that's relatively cheap. and easy to do. So good luck and enjoy your perking. Bye. Thanks.